Hi my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. I have a very special video for you today. As you can see, here's my quilt for Ukraine for a charity, all ready to be given, and today's video is all about giving that quilt. So I was happy enough and wonderfully thrilled when Carla suggested that the Lutheran World Relief could be a place for us to make our charity quilts for Ukraine to give them, and that their quilt arm at the Lutheran World Relief was sending quilts over there. So back in very beginning of March, the very first week I think, when I started this whole campaign, that was my ultimate goal, was to make a quilt. And today what I'm going to show you is delivering it to the Lutheran World Relief. We're finally open again for tours, and Carla has, our friend Carla has she organized a tour. I met there with her and a few other quilters, and Greg came along, of course. I want to show you a few things before I get into those clips, because this is the last time the quilt is here in my home as I'm filming this prior to the visit. So we started out with my pattern and the donations to UNICEF to help the children of Ukraine when this war started happening. It was just horrific. We all wanted to do something, and I thought I have to find something to do. So I asked Orifil Thread, my wonderful friends there, if they knew of a good organization that would be sort of worldwide so that everybody could participate. And we decided that the UNICEF with helping the children would be the best thing for us to do. So I put this pattern out, and loads, besides being so generous and giving, you also made your single blocks and shared them by either hanging them in your home, hanging them in your businesses, giving them to your community, raffling for your community to raise funds. These little single block quilts were spotted all over the world, making a difference in people's lives. Then from there we went to making a full quilt. Now the fabrics on here are donated from Benertex, and the quilting on this wonderful quilting is donated by my friend Judy. So isn't it spectacular? Doesn't it look wonderful, bright, hopeful? And I hope when the person who receives it knows that we care, that we're thinking of them and really hoping for the best soon for them. I also made a pillowcase. We did that on the videos here. So here's a pillowcase with the same fabrics. So I am going to be taking this down, putting it in the pillowcase, and Greg and I will be driving up to Maryland, about an hour and a half from my home, to the Lutheran World Relief warehouse. I am deeply touched by your generosity to help the people of Ukraine by donating through this drive for UNICEF, through UNICEF to help the children of Ukraine. On Friday morning, July 29th, 2022, I went and looked at the numbers, and we were at $234,972.46. That means it is just $14,000 until we have $250,000 the quilters have donated to support the children in Ukraine. This is just incredible. So, thank you so much for doing that. And the links are below so that you can donate if you haven't done that yet, or if you feel like you would do just a little bit more. We'll see if we can hit that big number, 250,000. Okay, so I'm going to pack this up and we're going to get on the road. I want to thank Carla Walker, our friend who has worked with supporting Lutheran World Relief for many, many years, and she organized this tour and the ability for me to drop off the Ukraine quilt. And so we have first two of the organizers from Lutheran World Relief meeting us here at the warehouse. The coordinator of the entire Mission Quilt program is Janelle Johnson Momami. Also Martha Piedrasantra, who is the Associate Quilt and Kit Ministry, and their headquarters are over in Baltimore, and we're up in New Windsor, Maryland. Coming along with Carla are two of her friends, Mary Rose Spriggs and Barbara Evans, and we are meeting Loretta Wolf. And Loretta is the Director of Material Resources for Brethren Service Center here, which is the New Windsor warehouse. She's been working here since 1976, and you will hear her talking here in the videos. The services here are to support several organizations, and one of them being the Lutheran World Relief. So let's get going and get inside. Just as we arrived at the facility, 2 quilters came with that pickup truck full of quilts. You can see the lady in the red t-shirt and smock and the man in the blue shirt are both the facility employees, and they're helping the quilters unload all of those quilts. And then here he is taking them back. They figured there were about 100 quilts, and they're now waiting their turn in line here in the hallway to be reviewed. Most of the packages come into this bay right here, and you can see in the back, and I've got a little video that zooms back in there, all the boxes when they arrive. Like if you shipped one directly, this is where it goes, and then it has to be processed. So next, Loretta is going to tell us a little bit about how things operate, and then we're going to go into the room where all the sorting happens.
Unload it, and this becomes our pile of quilts. In the fall, when the Lutheran World Relief has a lot of bigger in-gatherings, they come kind of all at one time on trucks and a few train cars. So in-gatherings is where an area in the country goes together and they make kits and quilts, and then they all bring them together to put them on one trailer. Okay? This will be full. And then they're folded into a certain size that fits in the baler. We look for patriotic and religious. We pull those out and put them in separate bales because they can't go to certain countries. Rick puts them into the baler. So you'll see this side to see how full it is.
And this is why you need them a certain size.
So they can see the baler?
Yeah.
Sorry?
So this is why you need them a certain size, is because of how you transport them.
Well, World Relief finds best.
Right.
Just to see this whole baling process.
Yeah.
That's where the magic happens.
Yes. So he is actually packing everything in here so that they can put it into the final shipping. He's got a, wow. 35 quilts will go in here to be packaged. And this gentleman is working on that right now. The other people are folding over there. So amazing.
So the young gentleman that's back on that side of the table is Eddie. Eddie is here helping us for the summer. He comes 3 days a week in the mornings and helps us out. And today is Eddie's special day.
Oh.
It's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Eddie!
So,
Eddie's back there. He's hiding. There he is.
And Melissa is folding.
Yes.
She does this all day.
Thank you.
And then Rick is filling the baler there for us.
I want to show you up close here the folding process. There you can see all the quilts. They're getting into a very uniform size so that Rick can go and take them and put them into that compression unit that they have. There. See, and she's got to check everything, be sure she can get it as tight as possible so they can get all 35 quilts in that machine and squish them down. Now I'm going to show you the process where these quilts get compressed down by this machine and then wrapped into bales to be ready to put on the trucks. So let's go.
Quite a long time ago, we've gone through several kinds of machines, and this is the one that we ended up with. And then he's going to close the door, and we're going to go to the other side and watch what happens there. Yeah. So you might want to come on up this way so that you can actually see when he opens the door.
Alright. Remember how high it was when I put 35 on that side? I had 35 in here. It's the same way. Well, 35 looked all compressed. They shrink, didn't they?
It was smaller than you.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. It's like wrapping a Christmas present.
Some facts while we're watching him wrap up this bale. Each quilt weighs about 3 to 4 pounds. Because they're consistent size, they pretty much can guess what that weight is. The bundle will be about 114 pounds with 35 quilts. Just amazing.
Hold it in place till we get to the straps.
This is going on to 50. Yeah,
The question was, how many bales do you do a day? And he said between 20 and 25 bales in one day.
And then in the agency quilt and floating stock, because that was
Person on the left back to the right.
2 to 25.
We had a question about the volunteers. They generally will have volunteers anywhere between 1 and 25, depending on what kind of needs there are and what's going on for the day. They said the issue is that if you have too many volunteers, they can work faster than he can process the quilts. So they basically will have volunteers doing things that won't put him behind, and they may not even work with the quilts. A lot of volunteers will be in setting up the other kits, the school kits, the hygiene kits, the disaster kits. There's other kinds of products besides the quilts that they're all being processed by the Lutheran World Relief here at this facility.
Heat element in there, and it's going to heat the two together as I go along. Now we'll lift this up and we'll put one along with it. That way it's going to be in place, the next one will hold it in place.
Heavy.
So you have 35 quilts in there. 35 quilts. How much do you think it weighs? 100?
Okay, we have 100,
150.
150,
75.
75. Them 35 weigh 114 pounds, so whoever was 110 was close.
Once the bundle is wrapped, then he builds a pallet full of them so that this can then be taken over to an area that you're going to see here towards the end that just has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these bundles all stacked up, ready to go on to the locations to help people. But between here and there, I am going to go ahead and show you a little bit more of the warehouse, some other things that we did. So let's take a look. This is the area where they're building kits, and the kits are little packages. They're baby care, personal care, school kits, and they have something called fabric kits. And the fabric kit is basically thread and 2 pieces of fabric so that people can learn to sew. It's a skill building kit. School kits have, note paper and pens and things like that. Personal care would have what you would think, toothpaste, soap, and then baby care kits. And so those are all packaged here. That's part of the charity work. Besides the quilts. The quilts are one thing, building the kits are another thing. And this is all the section that the Lutheran World Relief has here for the facility to manage. What we're going to do though is go walk a little bit more through the warehouse. You can see everything piled up and hear a little bit of the chat that we had, and then we'll go see all the bales of quilts ready to get onto the containers.
That's because we work with the overseas arm of Lutheran World Relief. We work with Church World Service sends overseas and in the country. After disasters, when people are in an arena or whatever, they'll send blankets and hygiene kits first.
And what are in the buckets?
Those are cleanup buckets for Church World Service. They're used after disasters. They have gloves, trash bags.
So imagine if there's a tornado, you want a cleanup bucket, things that can help you
Everything
clean
that
up.
you need to clean up.
Yeah, very personal.
Into this part of the warehouse and seeing all of those bales was just incredible. We're going to have Loretta tell us about it.
This row, all the way from here, all the way to the back wall, is one container. So it looks like a ton of quilts until you think of it in terms of how much goes in one container. 2 tons of quilts. That's a lot of quilts. It's a lot. 375 bales goes in one container. It's about 36,000 pounds.
To get involved and make a quilt, go to the lwr.org and go to the Get Involved tab, and you'll see the quilt page. You can download a PDF. You can learn all about the statistics and everything you need to know to get a quilt properly ready and sent here to be put in one of these bales. Janelle is going to tell us a little bit more now about what happens after these are shipped to location.
When these bales arrive in country, we work with our partners to make sure that they're able to clear customs. That's why it's highly important that all of the rules be followed, because one customs official, if they find an inappropriate quilt, they can absolutely refuse the entire shipment. We work with our partners to then transport those quilts to the various refugee camps, hospitals, orphanages, where they will then be distributed. Thank you all so much for all of your hard work.
The last step is for everything to be on the tractor trailer, and there they go, off to a destination. I want to thank everybody involved for making this happen. Here we are leaving my quilt with the Lutheran World Relief staff, and I hope it will give comfort to somebody. I really hope you will go check everything out at the website, and thank you so much for being here to watch this. I love you. See you online.